Hello Cancer, welcome to my channel and welcome to January tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love life, at your career space, and we'll get some advice from the universe on how to best utilize the energy of the months of January. At the end, we'll post some messages from your person of interest to yourself. So stick around for that. And we're beginning, as always, with an oracle message. This time is going to be the Sacred Traveler Oracle. Without further ado, let's get started. For those who are new, there is a lot more information in the description box about my content and services. Please subscribe so you're not missing any of the horoscopes or twin flame readings or daily card of the day shorts or lunation event special readings and so on and so forth. And of course, for everyone, I appreciate your likes, shares, and comments. Last thing I'm gonna say is this reading is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Cancer. So if you're watching for your sun sign, check out videos for other placements as well. I must say that as I'm recording this video, we are fast approaching the peak of the full moon in Cancer. So if you are a Cancer sign watching this on or somewhere close to January 3rd, for most of us, pretty much for everyone, I would say, then yeah, pay attention to this. There will be a separate reading for the full moon and messages for each sign, but also I'm even interested to see what this full moon is actually bringing about for Cancers in the months of January, because there's definitely a connection. And I myself have moon in Cancer, so what I usually say, especially during lunation events, is watch or listen to messages for your moon sign. So if you're watching this because your moon is in Cancer, this is the place to be. All right, so Cancer, your oracle message for the month of January is navigating by the stars, which is, I feel like, is such a Cancer card. Follow your bliss. Cancers are known to be very empathetic, very intuitive. It's a water sign, so of course very deep with feelings and emotions, also very nurturing energy, right? Cancers sometimes are notorious for self-sacrifice, for people-pleasing, and essentially needing to nurture, people and living creatures in general around them. What this gives me, and the message I'm getting with this, especially about following your bliss, is that it's very important to follow your own instincts and what makes you happy, not just instincts, because some people still manage to do a lot of people pleasing when they think of instincts or they're trying to listen to the instincts, right? But this is, and you can have instincts about other people, right? It's not only about yourself, but this is, and if we already programmed to cater to other people's needs, we may actually skip our own needs and listen to the intuitive guidance when it comes to other people. But at this time, it's very important to focus on yourself, where you stand, what you want, and what brings you that bliss, and create that space of bliss for yourself as much as possible this month. And I know some people would say, but shouldn't it be every month? Technically, yes, but it will have very special meaning. And I do understand as I'm saying this that it's probably not going to happen every day, or it's not going to be all day, every day, right? But at least make more conscious effort in this until it becomes effortless. All right, so let's see what we have with tarot for you. Wow, cards are just literally jumping out at me. Okay, we'll take them. So the first card that flipped out, and this is for your personal space and love life, is the Page of Cups. And look at that full moon that we were just talking about. I like when this happens. Then we have the moon. If that wasn't on the nose for you, then there you go. You have the moon. And we have Two of Wands. It fell out in reverse, so I'm gonna take it like that. Usually I don't do reversals, but if it happens, it means something. Then for your professional space and work, you have Six of Wands. the Magician. This is Gemini energy. The Moon, by the way, was Pisces energies. You could be dealing with one of those signs. And you have the Star card, which is Aquarius. You're hearing noise. It's coming from a dog that's sitting next to me as my security guard, so I apologize. Hopefully it's not gonna be too noisy. And then with the advice, we have Five of Cups, the Hermit. This is Virgo energy. And Four of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, focusing on your needs. That's the underlying motto of the Emperor energy, me, myself, and I, right? What do I want? What do I need? And as much as it may sound a little uncomfortable and awkward as I'm saying this, right? Especially for people who are not used to it, there is a lot of healthy energy in it, right? It doesn't have to go too far with like becoming selfish and disregarding what's going on around you, right? Like you can still keep that in a balanced way, right? But it should be present in our lives on the regular basis, just like the need for caring for other people. All right, so for your personal space, you have Page of Cups, you have the Moon, and you have Two of Wands in reverse. So what I'm going to tell you here is that this month there may be a strong temptation to follow your emotions rather than considered and weighed choices, you know, or you may have several choices, but you'll feel tempted to make a final decision not based on, facts or people's actions, but based on your emotions and feelings, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm seeing here the Page of Cups, and the page is, however we want to put it, it's quite an immature energy. It may mean that somebody else is acting immature during this time, right? And that may trigger your feelings and emotions. During the full moon, our insecurities come out, especially during full moon in Cancer. It's like, and it's a super full moon, yes. So it's like amplified 10 times, right? We're becoming more sensitive, more prone to emotional responses. And as much as it's given us a lot of information, it may not be that great for the relationship that we're trying to build with our loved ones, right? So just keep that in mind. I don't know what your strategy would be, like maybe give them a disclaimer in advance before you even start a conversation, but just be ready that it may go sideways just because you'll get caught up in emotions, right? And as a person who's been working on this for a very long time, I must say that every time I feel like I've reached new success with keeping my emotions intact and not letting them drive the conversation, I do face people in situations that show me that there's still a lot of work to do. Sorry guys, this was bothering me. There's still a lot of work to do because they still manage to say something so obnoxious or out of character or appalling or rude that I don't have a response to that, like a wise and grounded response to. At most, I'm just shocked and quiet because I don't know how do you respond with something meaningful to that, apart from like, let's have that conversation when you're ready. But when the other person is already in that emotional state of affection, right? We say in terms of not affection, but affect, when they are so sucked into that whirlwind of emotions, they can't really control it anymore, right? And in those moments, it's very hard to kind of interfere and knock them out of that state. Sometimes the best thing you can do is leave them be and walk away until there is a better time to have that conversation. So leaving that to you. For your workspace and career, you have Six of Wands, the Magician, and the Star. I mean, honestly, this is like the best recipe for establishing your leadership, establishing your success, shining quite literally in your community, with your audience. It's a combination of being aligned with your mission and purpose, with your higher power, with the universe, with what is in kind of in stock for you, you know, what you're meant to be doing, with your own power and your gifts just magically unfolding for everyone to see. Like, this is the time when people really listen, when they really pay attention to your message, to your product, to your service, and you don't need to work hard. So the best ways, of course, to get to here is to assume this identity, that you're already in this position of leadership and power, and people just listen. You show up, you have something to say, they will listen to it because it's you, because it's your energy, because it's your voice. Like, you don't need to overdo it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel or follow all the modern trends and fads, right? It's more about your authentic message. What do you have to say? That's all that matters. And these are major arcanas, by the way, so it means that, you know, your higher power, your guides are guiding you through this. So it's not like you need to do this alone, right? You will know what to say and what to do when the time is right. Don't worry about that. All right, and finally, the advice. I mean, this is a little controversial, or maybe it's not. Let's see. Five of Cups, the Hermit, and Four of Pentacles. I don't usually like to see Five of Cups or Four of Pentacles in the reads because they're showing certain limitations that we have because of our either belief system or our, again, going back to emotions, emotional state. All right, it's like we can't really see clearly what's going on, or we can't see our power in the situation. We feel powerless, and that drives us to either play small or to not take action at all, which is kind of what it is here, because Hermit is not really about taking action. But what is interesting, if you notice, it has a hooded figure in both of these cards, right? It's like it's the same character, but in a different moment in time, doing something else. So take it however it resonates, and maybe for some of you, it will be good to do a little bit of that hermit mode where you have time and space to yourself to really listen to what is going on. I noticed that sometimes when people hear the phrase slow down, they just feel like it's literally just not do much and maybe, I don't know, sleep in till noon or binge watch some shows on TV all day long. But it's not really that. It's more than anything about listening to yourself. And again, going back to the needs and wants, understanding what is going on within you, the negative and the positive, the light and the dark. You see, it's even in contrast with that regard, right? Acknowledge where the sadness is, but be able to turn on this light and see where do you want to go next. What do you want to build, right? Show, honor what has happened to you. There was something negative, but don't get into the closed off energy. Use this as experience, as a lesson that will help you know yourself better and do better next time. Like, this was almost like a course that you were expected to take this way, It was never supposed to be anything more than that. All right, last but not least, let's get a message for Cancer from their person of interest. A message for Cancer, please. All right, we've got the World. I like this. That's Capricorn energy, which is opposite of yours. The High Priestess, oh my God, this is beautiful. And Four of Swords. Yeah, your person definitely wants to get to know you better. And they may suggest actual traveling with the World card here, or at the very least, some ideas for relaxation or like quality time together. And quality time is a better description because for different people, it will be very different things, right? Like some people will think of a ski vacation, others will think of going to the lodge and just spending time by the fire, in a fireplace. Other people will be like, let's go to that movie we wanted to see finally, right? We're not putting it off and we're making like a whole day out of it with several activities related to it, right? Like it can be so, or maybe even like, especially if it's, a lover, spending all day in bed, who knows, right? It can be different things, but idea behind it is definitely that they want to get to know you better or understand you better on, like, it's about emotional intimacy. It's about understanding what makes you tick, what is your vibe, or even, again, what sadness have you been through, what trauma have you been through. They may not say it like that, but essentially they want to see really what are you about. And if you've been together with your person for like a decade and you're like, wow, that sounds really odd, there's never a moment where you understand the other person 100%. There's always something to learn, especially if you haven't really been dedicating time to it, time and attention, right? Some people just don't like talking about the past, but it is very healthy for, the space that you build in with your life partner. And hopefully this will go, like, the other side of this, that the person is hoping that you'll be interested to learn more about them as well. So there is a little bit of an agenda there, but mostly pure intent, and this is also something that is a guided action for them. So hopefully you'll make the most out of it and you'll have a great time together. I'm gonna leave it here. I hope that this was useful for you guys. If so, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time.